What's up, guys? I'm Kevin. I'm going to do a video here on packing for a long distance trip, backpacking trip. Some of the gear that I would recommend that you guys bring along, some of the gear that I choose to bring along, and I hope that it helps you out with your packing. Okay, so here we go. I've got my gear lined up, nice and neat in a row. Be able to go through it here and point out each thing. We'll start down here with just a backpack. Um, your most important piece of gear. Gotta have a nice backpack. There's lots of really nice bags being made out there by, Osprey or REI or Gregory. There's a lot of really nice bags. Spend some time before you buy one of just, trying it on and making sure it fits well, it's sized to your body. You like the hip straps, it's comfy, the back is nice, it's got all the right specs for you, and whatever you need, how big it is. If you're only doing a day trip, you don't need to be bringing out like 60, 70 fill bags. This one is it's on the larger side, but it's not super huge. I've had this bag for a while now. It's just nothing special. It's a little old school, just a top stuff kind of bag, but it's my bag. I love it. Definitely get a nice bag. Moving on over to clothing, I always recommend layering properly. You're going to have your warm layer, depending on what conditions you're going to be in. If it's going to be super cold, bring a really nice big puffy. They are really warm, they're really light, and they stuff really well. They're fantastic things to buy for camping and backpacking. This is my layer by Arc'teryx. Here it's a kind of a mid-range fluffy. It's pretty warm, but it's not like super over the top. I'm in warmer conditions, so it's perfect for me. Then you're going to have a mid-layer, some type of warm fleece, some type of, this is a synthetic fleece here. It's pretty warm, and that goes on top of my my base layers here. So I've got a pair of long johns, if it's real cold, and then, just my synthetic base layer. This is a smart wool that I bought at REI. It's a little on the pricey side, but I've had this for years now, and it's extremely warm and essential to have. Even if you're in warm weather, I recommend having base layers because it could get a little chilly at night. Moving on over here, we've got just undies. I got 2 pair of quick dry undies. I think 2 to 3 pairs is all you need. Maybe one for hiking, one for camping and sleeping. Get the quick dry stuff. They don't stink. They're the best. Don't bring cotton, and that goes for the rest of your clothing. Do not bring cotton on your trip. Cotton absorbs your sweat and gets you really cold, and it's the worst. It's the worst enemy of a backpacker. Leave your cotton at home. This is just a windbreaker. It's gotta be from the 1970s, but it's just like at over the ridge. It's got a super strong headwind or something like that. You just throw in windbreaker. You can use your rain jacket too. I like bringing this one. So I always bring 4 pairs of socks. My method is I always keep a pair in my bag, my sleeping bag. I keep one for camp, one for hiking, and then one extra. And the extra one typically gets switched out for my hikers that end up getting soiled pretty quick. And I like being able to rotate those. And then I've got, one for camp, which is great. And then when I get into my bag, I've got like a clean, fresh, dry pair every single night. So I'm not getting in the tent with kind of wet socks and wet feet. 4 is a good number, I think. Moving on to our footwear. This is my pair of hikers. It's by Ace Solo. They're super strong, vibrant soles. They're gargantuan and chunky, but they're waterproof. Great ankle support. Buy a nice pair of shoes, and please, for the love of God, break them in before you leave, or else your feet will just be a bloody mess and you won't enjoy anything. Break your boots in. I've been hurt. I've been told that this is some older guy in a shop, but he says you gotta walk at least 100 miles in them before they're like ready to go. I think that's a little extreme. Just break them in, wear them around the house, let your feet get used to them, let the heat of your feet kind of work the leather in of your boots. Don't go out there with new boots. And I carry a pair of sandals, camp shoes. A lot of people carry Crocs. I like Crocs. They're really light. I've got big feet, so I don't like bringing them. I don't like packing them in my bag. So flip-flops are great for camp shoes. Chacos are also really nice. You can wear socks with Chacos, and they're waterproof too. I'd recommend a pair of Chacos. They're a little heftier, but they're definitely nice to have. And it's nice to be able to, been hiking all day. You want to take off your boots and kick it at camp. You don't want to put your shoes you've been hiking in all day and back on. All right, moving on over here, we've got 2 Nalgene's. Minimal amount of water is 2 liters for any trip. You're going to be hiking and working all day. You're going to be dehydrated. You're going to want a lot of water. A lot of backpacks nowadays come with built-in hydration systems, which are fantastic. I know Osprey does, the Camelback built into their bags. Those are great. I just don't have that with my bag, so I just carry 2 Nalgene's. Going on to water, or curtailing on water, I suppose, is this water filter that I've had for a couple years. It's Catadine water filter. Highly recommend it. It's a pump. You've got this end here that will plug into your Nalgene. It fits both sizes, as you can see, and then you have got this black end that goes in your water source, and then you just pump your own water. It's great. Never been sick on it. Really like this water filter. This particular one hasn't been changed out. The filter in it hasn't been changed in a couple years, so I am choosing to go with iodine for my trip. I've drinking lots of iodine in the past. I don't particularly like it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. There are chlorine droppers out there nowadays that people like drinking chlorine opposed to iodine. That's fine. Just make sure you're purifying your water. You don't want to be out there in the middle of the backcountry with nasty water, water sickness. Okay, so we've got our soap here. I generally like bringing soap. This is Dr. Bonner's all-purpose soap. I like washing my hands before dinner. I like washing my hands after I go to the bathroom. I like to shower sometimes. I think this stuff is great. I clean my hair with it. I clean my body with it. I clean my shoes with it. I've cleaned my entire sleeping bag with it. It's great stuff. It's gentle soap. It won't tear your crap up. It's not like a detergent. I've actually heard some people brushing their teeth with this stuff. I wouldn't do that. That sounds gross to me, but this is good soap. A knife, nice sharp knife, good to have. Harmonica. I bring a musical instrument with me. I like harmonicas. They're small and portable, and got a loud sound. This is my Black Diamond headlamp. Buy a nice one. Headlamps are really important. Buy a nice one. Don't bring out your old 1990 headlamp you found in the basement. Watch, simple digital waterproof watch, Velcro, super cheap. Bought it at Target for like $30. First aid kit. So my first aid kit's real bulky. I am kind of a first aid nut. You don't have to carry all this stuff. It's not necessary. I would recommend just bringing the basics. But I've got glucose tablets in here for low blood sugar, electrolyte tablets, Pepto tablets, ibuprofen, Benadryl, Dramamine, And then just other basic first aid stuff. I think there's a splint in here, there's athletic tape, there's bunches of bandages. I got a lighter over here. I like having a nice complete first aid kit. So you never know what's going to happen out there. You might you might get sick, you might get hurt, or you might run into someone on the trail that needs your help, and hopefully you'll be prepared. But if you're not going to bring something like this, just bring a little plastic baggie with antiseptic, band-aids, ibuprofen, just basic first aid stuff. Your own medicine. Bring a nice hat. I don't know if it's going to be warm or cold wherever you're going, but I like bringing a nice warm hat. This is a wool beanie, nice to have. Visor, I wear visors, wear a baseball cap or a broad-brimmed hat or whatever floats your boat. Nice pair of shades, something with UV protection so you're not, scorching your eyes out with those cheap gas station Ray-Bans. Okay, so here's my stove. This is called a Rocket Pocket stove. It fits nicely in this little red container. It's just a burner, really. Just attaches to this top of this fuel canister here, like that, and you just cook on top of that. It's got this this simmer right here. I like this stove a lot for cooking for myself and maybe one other person. However, I really don't like cooking for groups with this. I think it's way too small for that. It's kind of the downside of that. It's a personal stove. And another downside is, it comes with these fuel canisters, which, I can never seem to like these things. They're bulky, they're chunky, you can't refill them. You have to, you gotta pitch it when you're done with it. So, you can recycle it at REI. I think they take these back, but, you can't refill these. And so, gosh, I just hate packing this thing too, but it's just my stove. I've got to bring this stuff along. I don't even think that there are fuel canisters like this in other countries. I'm sure you can find stuff like this in Europe, but I think this is a pretty standard American-made type of fuel canister. This is just a passport holder, kind of a touristy type of thing that I like to keep my stuff in. Little money clip right here. Put that all in waterproof bags. Teepee. I bring my own teepee, my own potty kit. I follow L&T rules, leave no trace of, I pack out my teepee. I would encourage you to do the same, but, not everyone is into that. But just with the amount of hikers that are going out nowadays, I think it's important that you clean up after yourself. I don't want to be on a trail and set up camp and I go to take a leak somewhere and there's just like toilet paper all over the place. Like, I don't know, clean up after yourself. There's a lot of people out nowadays hiking and it's just courteous. Don't let her. And then here's a little pot, just a little camp pot. It's got a little measuring cup inside there, real lightweight. My tent. My tent is important. For me, I'm almost 6'8", so I've got this special tent. It's called a Vapor Light. It's a big one. It's really lightweight. It's kind of an ultralight hiking tent. Please dry your tent before you store it. I pulled out my tent this season and it was covered in mold. Major bummer. But I put it away a little damp and didn't set it up, and now I got to deal with the consequences of sleeping in a moldy tent. But it's okay; it's still waterproofed and everything. But yeah, definitely buy a nice tent, something with good rainfly. Don't bring your your dad's, I don't know, old Coleman from the '80s or something. There's nice tents being made nowadays. Toiletries. I just keep my stuff in a plastic bag and nothing fancy, Outdoor Research makes these little ditty bags. These are waterproof bags with this clip on top, and then they just roll down, and these are great. I love these things. You can keep your your ID and your money and all your important shit in here, or I'll keep like maybe my potty. One of these will be my potty bag, where my TP won't get soaked. I think these are a good thing to have. Okay, here's my thermarest, my sleeping pad. I fucking love, pardon my French, I love sleeping on this thing almost more than my own bed. A lot of guys are into bringing just the styrofoam mats. Great, whatever floats your boat. I love this thing, and I won't never go on a trip without it. And then last but not least, well, I guess we got the sleeping bag behind me, but this is just rain gear, sleeping pants, rain pants, duck bag. This is a bag cover for your bag when it rains, and then a rain jacket. I have recently just re-waterproofed all this stuff, so that stuff's all good to go. Buy nice rain gear, take care of it. You will certainly be rained on. And then here's my sleeping bag here. This is an REI sleeping bag. It's a down rated to about 10 degrees down bag. Very comfortable, very, very warm. Spent some pretty cold nights in this thing and have been toasty. Not the easiest thing to clean, but you know, it can be done. I prefer down. A lot of guys are out there in synthetic bags too. I mean, I'm just a proponent of down. The downside of having a down bag or down clothing or anything is if they get wet, they are virtually rendered useless at that point. So just keep it dry. And the way that you do that is in my backpack, I'll put, before I put anything in there, I'll stuff all the insides of my bag with like a big black trash bag. I know it's kind of, junky, but, I'd rather have a big garbage bag sticking out of my bag than have all my crap be wet. So there we go. I hope that helps. Pack right, be smart, have a blast, get after it. Thanks, guys.